There, how are you? Listen, I hope you guys are doing well today. I am so excited that you've taken the time just to join us for a moment. I am ecstatic to tell you about one of my newest projects. But what I'm going to do, I actually have someone very special with me. Her name is Nina Smith, and we're going to reverse roles. We're going to actually, or she's going to actually talk to me and ask me some questions about my newest project. So Nina, welcome.
Hi, Miss Donna. It is so good to see you.
Oh, it's great to see
I
you
am
as well.
excited to talk about your new book. I have my copy. As you can see, I've been reading, getting into it. The My Forever Affirmations book and journal. What made you write this book?
Wow, you know what? I wrote that because part of my purpose is to encourage. And so this was one of my, I guess, labors of love, if you will, to be able to encourage people. Basically, that is a compilation of several affirmation poems that I wrote over the years. And so I just combined them into a nice book and journal to make it handy, as a handy reference guide, if you will. So as far as, people may be thinking, what are affirmations, right? Why is it called My Forever Affirmations? And for those people who may be thinking about that, of course, affirmations are nothing but true statements that you say about yourself. And I certainly want people to understand true statements, because whether it is positive or negative, it is true if you're saying it. And so I always ask people to make sure you say positive affirmations. We have enough negative self-talk in our own head a lot of times. So what I wanted to do with the affirmations is to just offer a boost of confidence, if you will. And so I'm just so excited about doing that. The first one I actually ever wrote was I was back and actually just moved to Atlanta. And I was working with a group of girls at Spelman College. And so I was teaching a self-esteem, basically self-esteem course. And so the first thing I wanted to know from them on the first day is how they actually felt about themselves. Wow. And I heard a lot of things that I did not want to hear.
I'm sure.
Oh, it was just amazing.
Because it's hard. It's hard being a woman and then going to college.
Yes.
And, the pressures just from society, and especially where we're at right now.
Absolutely.
And these times, it is really hard to look at yourself in the mirror and say, hey, self, I love you.
Absolutely.
That is amazing.
Absolutely. But I was hearing things like, oh, I don't like my skin, my nose, it's too big, or, I just don't feel comfortable with myself. And I thought, wow, I'm just listening to this. And I said, okay, I'm thinking, okay, Lord, you're going to have to give me something to be able to give these girls.
Yes.
And so I went home, prayed about it, and that night was the very first affirmation, if you will, the very first one. And it's called the self-confidence speech. So the Lord just downloaded this on me, and self-confidence means to believe in yourself. I believe in myself. I can do anything I put my mind to. No matter what other people say I cannot do, I know I can. I think positively and not negatively. I will never say I can't. I can if I try. So I typed that up and I took it back the next day. And of course I made copies and I handed it out to all the girls. So we together actually affirmed that particular affirmation, the self-confidence speech. So I had them read it and they read over it and it was kind of like, wow. So then I had them read it again. I said, okay, so now I want you to read it as if you really mean it.
Affirm it.
Exactly, exactly. And so they did that, and just over the course of probably a couple of weeks, I saw such a transformation take place in these young ladies. I was just absolutely ecstatic about that. And so I went on to use it for years. And with some of the younger students, what I ended up doing is we did what was called a self-confidence speech rap song, right? And so I use this for, of course, the girls and the guys, because I work with a lot of you.
It is important for guys. I'm glad you said that. It is definitely
Yes.
important for all people to start using affirmations.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
There's
it's
no
amazing.
divide in self-confidence.
Exactly. And it's so amazing. And I wish that I had my Forever Affirmations book and journal when I was younger.
That's what I wanted to find out.
Yes.
So coming up, you know, when and at what time in your life did you say, I need to be able to affirm who I am? When were you able to discover that your affirmations hold power?
Oh, gosh. It wasn't until probably, I would say, after I graduated from high school. So, in other words, I go all the way back to elementary school. I was severely bullied. I was picked on and teased all the time. I was very tall and thin for my age, okay?
I call that model-esque.
Yeah, ended up being anyway.
That's what I call that.
Sure. But I was just so self-conscious, if you will. I was taller than a lot of the boys, and so, you know, I carried a shoulder bag, like we carried shoulder bags, and I would kind of hunch over to try to make myself less tall, right? And with that, also, these kids would just tease me all the time. They were like, wow, your legs are so skinny and your feet are so big, and you know, you look like Big Bird and stuff like that. And I would just, you know, I felt so bad. I never really said anything back to them, and I never let them see that I was very upset, because I would secretly just kind of cry, you know, when I would go home. Never let anybody know.
That's
never
what
let
I was
my
going to
mom.
say. Did you tell your mother?
Did
you
not
tell your parents?
Did not even tell anyone about it, because, and the reason that I didn't, and I would not suggest this for, you know, anybody that's going through that, any youth that is, you know, actually experiencing that. Tell your parent for sure. But I didn't, because I didn't want my mom to worry about me, and I just don't want. I've never like to really tell anybody about my problems or issues. I usually try to deal with them myself. I remember my mom had, of course, always taught me about Jesus. So I would just go secretly and just go cry and talk to Jesus about it so he could help me. But I really should have talked to my mom, because she could have helped me as well.
But see, that is key. I just want to touch on that. If you are being bullied, please tell someone
Absolutely.
who is an adult, because a lot of times you think that you're protecting us, you know, parents, elders. We are here to protect you. And I do love that your mother instilled enough faith in you and taught you about Jesus, because like you said, when you get those downloads, they're direct gifts from him.
Absolutely.
Words of love and confirmation from him.
Absolutely.
So that is the blessing that got you through.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But, you know, again, you know, I wish I had said something to my mom. You know, hindsight, of course, 2020. But I certainly wish I had a copy of the book, because with the affirmations, they're short, to the point, you know, quick enough to energize or re-energize you confidence-wise, right? But yeah, I was severe, and this was through high school, pretty much. I was teased and bullied. You know, I was called olive oil, and I don't know if anybody out there, you know, you hear about olive oil now because it's good to cook with, right?
But back in the day, Popeye, olive oil.
Popeye, So
that was rough.
For some people that may be listening to us, they're
like, who and what?
Google Popeye. You know, I don't know
But
if they ever...
guess what? Popeye loved him some
He
olive.
did. Olive oil was,
Olive oil was loved by
yes,
Popeye.
that was his girlfriend.
So
I don't know if
guess
they ever
what?
married or not,
I
you
have
know.
no idea, but guess
that
what?
was his girl, right? But she was tall and skinny, and she had extremely skinny legs and big feet. That's they associated me with olive oil. So, but anyway, also, I just with the, as far as low self-esteem, the teacher would call on me in class, right? I would start crying. I would absolutely start crying because I didn't want to speak up in front of the class or anything like that. So when I say I was pitiful, I was pitiful. And oftentimes I share this with a lot of the youth that I speak with. They're like, oh, no, not you. And I'm like, oh, yes, me. So, but, you know, I've come a long way that now that I'm, you know, speaking and training and encouraging, which is my major platform, because my purpose and my dream has always been to encourage others. And so, and that's why I'm so excited about this project, because it just kind of brings all of those together.
I love it. I love it. And the thing about it is these affirmations, like you said, they are short. And I just remember hearing it doesn't have to be long to be strong. You know, when it comes to prayer sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
And I feel the same exact way about these affirmations. Every single one that is written, you can see where you're talking yourself through a situation real quickly. You know, like a cheerleader, you have to say something, and it's only a few words, but it gives you encouragement. And I get that from this book. I love the fact that it's a journal for all ages. So I can read this with my children, and they can journal. What made you decide to write a book in this manner where it fits all age levels?
Sure, because even though I initially began writing them for youth, what happened is I had many adults contact me and order them. They were initially available in poster form, right? And so I remember one day, and I didn't even know this lady at this point. She had ordered the entire line of affirmation posters at the time. So once upon a time, I walked into her. She was one of the health club owners, and I walked in, and I saw my affirmations in there, and I was like, "That's what I said." Wow!
I would have. Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I was so full, and so she said, "Oh, I want my ladies to be, you know, encouraged and to make sure that they think, you know, power thoughts, and they're just, you know, their self-esteem, building their self-esteem as they're, you know, getting their body together and working out." And I was like, wow. And then I've had other adults just to purchase them because, just for example, for the self-confidence speech that I just did, it just resonates with so many different spirits of all ages.
Yes.
It's just, you know, it's amazing. So that's why I said, okay, for all ages. And not just for young people, because we all go through things.
Yes.
Even now, I mean, you know, if you've ever, you know, felt self-conscious about yourself or about anything in particular, if you've ever felt nervous about taking a test, if you've ever worked on, say, a project that it just seems too hard and it seems as though that you may not even accomplish it, these are things that we all go through. So those are some of the affirmations that address those types of things. And I think since we all go through it, then we certainly all, you know,
We can relate.
Yeah, we can benefit
definitely.
from being encouraged.
And I noticed that through this book, when you say it's your forever affirmations, you can definitely feel when you went through certain experiences. Like you said, the test taking one.
Yes.
That is one I love. One I really did love was the affirmation for children and respecting their parents.
Yes.
To me, of course, as a parent, as a mother, you think about your children. But for me, I went into a childlike space with God. And it said, I was like, okay, Father, yes, I do need to obey you. I do need to listen to you. That is what I love about this book, is that there is an affirmation for every single emotion that you may be feeling, whether it's stress, anxiety, nervousness, you're lacking self-confidence.
Yes.
So yes, I'm excited for you guys to pick
Absolutely.
up the My Forever Affirmations book. It is available on Amazon right now for purchase. Please make sure you get a copy of this. Please. This is something that you, your children, your mother, whoever, it is for the entire family. This is a book that needs to be shared.
Thank you so much. And as you said, it's also a journal, and I wanted to design it where after you read that specific affirmation for yourself, and you sit with that for a minute, and then you journal what that means to you, because you can have two people that will read the same affirmation, but it will resonate in a different way with each one of them.
Just like
So,
scripture.
yeah, absolutely.
This is,
Absolutely.
you are anointed.
Absolutely. Oh,
Oh my
praise God.
goodness.
Praise God. Thank you.
Yes,
Well, he
because
definitely gave me, he gave this to
definitely
me.
gave you
Yeah.
this book.
Yeah, most definitely.
Man.
And I thank you so much for, I'm just so glad that you've enjoyed it and had an opportunity to share it with your girls as well. So thank you so much. So, wow. Gosh, well, guys, I thank you all for taking the time to listen to us, and I hope that you have been encouraged. And look forward to seeing you next time.